This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. So it's you in the ring with Vince McMahon when he's going to attempt to make Steve Austin kiss his ass as a part of the Kiss My Ass Club. Ultimately, after he has him do mouthwash and chapstick and a handful of other things, he's even going to show Austin that his ass can do tricks, whatever that means. Austin low blows Vince and then whips Vince's bare ass. And so here you are, an Olympic gold medalist, watching the CEO of a major company drop his pants and expose his bare ass, and the biggest star in the history of wrestling almost kiss it. This has got to be one of the wildest days in your sports entertainment career.
It is. I could never get used to it. You know, Vince was like a big kid. He always wanted to do immature shit, and this was one of them. I mean, you know, Vince loved the Kiss My Ass Club. You know, he did it all too frequently, probably way too much at this particular time. There was a lot of ass kissing at this particular time. So Vince absolutely loved it, and he was one funny guy.
When it's all over, you point to Jim Ross laughing at Vince. And of course, JR is at the desk doing commentary, but you're pointing him out like, look, this guy's laughing at you. You drag him into the ring. You're going to try to make him kiss Vince's ass. And all of a sudden, the Undertaker's music hits and everybody is excited to see, oh, now the Undertaker's going to come lay waste to Vince McMahon. But it turns out that's not the case. He says, nobody kissed more ass than me. And are you saying you're better than me, JR? And he forces JR's face into Vince's ass. And it's all in JR's hometown, Oklahoma City. What's going through your mind when you see this?
The whole time, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Way too much respect for JR. He doesn't deserve this. This is crap. I really did. I didn't feel comfortable at all doing it. I was really divided about it. And I did let Vince McMahon know that. But, you know, Vince wanted to do this, and this is what you have to do when you're a wrestler. You have to listen to your boss.
You know, there's two schools of thought here. A lot of wrestling fans would say, oh, well, he's trying to book heat. I know that's what Bruce Pritchard would think. And I think in hindsight, even JR does, that he wanted to get, you know, this sympathetic babyface in his hometown, Jim Ross. This would really cement the Undertaker and Vince McMahon and yourself as these ultra heel villains. But some other people say, nope, this is just Vince McMahon being mean spirited and trying to humiliate a guy that he thought he could in Jim Ross. And I know that that's the way Jim Ross's wife felt. JR recently talked about this though, Kurt, and he said, if I had it to do over again, I wish I would have been more business and less pout boy about it. Where do you land on that? Do you think that Vince maybe has a mean-spirited spot, or was this simply trying to get heat?
Well, I think it was both. I think that he wanted to get heat, but it was another way for Vince to stick it to JR. For whatever reason, I don't know if this is when JR left the company. I can't remember, but, you know, Vince felt that JR, his services were no longer needed. And I don't want to explain why, but he just felt uncomfortable with JR being the commentator. So I'm not sure if this is the time when they switched JR with somebody else, but I know eventually they did.
Yeah, I think this is around the time that his contract was going to be expiring, and there was some, you know, discussions. Is he going to continue? Will he be back? And boy, it was just a mess. And getting to know JR, you can't help but feel bad for him. But it's interesting, you know, wrestling, I think, sometimes changes you, you know, changes your perspective, because even Jim, who wrote about this in his book and how hurtful it was to his family, specifically his wife, Jan, he also says, man, I wish I would have handled that better. So
you need to have thick skin in this business. And I think JR realizes that, and he understands that.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.